The diffuser is now secured. You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
You're watching AFox, and today, as you can see, we are playing Rainbow Six Siege. It feels really weird to say we're playing something other than Destiny or Call of Duty, but yeah, we are playing the Siege beta. I played it a little bit at EGX, luckily, and I wasn't too keen on it. I wasn't too sure. The guns were really difficult to use, and I wasn't convinced. But we got given a beta code, so I decided to download that. Unfortunately, it didn't really work for me, so I just pre-ordered the game anyway on PlayStation Store. And I will be buying it anyway, so I've kept my pre-order for it. But it is awesome. I've been playing it for the past 3-4 days now. Like, literally no life in the game. I've been leveling up. I've been playing it so much because I've been trying to capture some footage for you guys. But I obviously have failed miserably because it took me 3 days to get some. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the game, what it's like, see if you guys would possibly be interested in this sort of game or not. It's a little bit different to your average shooter, I think. You need to have yourself thinking constantly. You can't just run into a room like you can on Call of Duty and just hope for the best, because usually you will get gunned down before you've even spotted someone. It is really tricky. Like, you do have to watch your back constantly. The way that the game works is that there's always new exposure points coming out at you, so you don't ever know when you're in cover and when you're not. Don't be 100% sure that, yeah, this is my corner and I'm going to stay there, because you're not necessarily going to stay safe the whole time. There is a lot of destructible walls, a lot of things that can explode. And 1 minute you could be sitting down, the next minute you could be blown up from behind. So you do really need to watch your back a lot. I really do like the way that this shooter plays out. It's different to most others. It's quite tricky to get a hold of if you're not used to more tactical games and less rewarding games. If you're used to getting 20+ kills on a game and you just want to run and gun, it's not going to work out well for you playing this sort of game, because you do need to kind of just take a moment to kill one person and be satisfied with just that one kill that you've been working for the whole time. Here I'm playing the TDM. As you can see, I'm looking for a point that I can breach in the building so I can get downstairs to where the bomb is I need to defuse or defend, something like that. There's two different versions. There's a bomb that you have to defuse, and there's another mode which you have to protect some safe or something like that. I'm not too sure what it is exactly, but it works that you are either defending or you are attacking. I've been attacking in these both two clips that I've showed you. I personally prefer attacking to defending, but that's mainly because my loadout for my attack is better than the one for my defend. The way that it works is that you've got there's about 8 or 9, I'm not too sure how many attackers and defenders there are that you can unlock, but there's quite a lot that you can unlock. And they roughly cost 500, most of them. Some of them are 1,000 to unlock. So you get points throughout playing matches. So you kind of need to play to get enough points to unlock new defenders or attackers. And each one of these players will have different abilities, special loadouts and guns that are specifically made for them. I personally really like using the sledge loadout. I think that's what it's called, and he basically has a massive hammer that can destruct, like, take down walls. There's certain walls that are destructible and some that aren't. Some will need to be breached with more like better equipment than just using a sledgehammer, but sometimes you can just one hit down walls and just break right through, which is awesome. I think I showed you that at the beginning of the video that I just made, but it is really good. I personally like that class. The gun that you use for it's quite powerful as well, so I've been rocking that one most of the time, but it really does depend on what other people are doing to what you want to use. Like, you can't all use the same class. Only one person could be like a defender with a riot shield or whatever. You can't all have the same class, which kind of sucks if you've only got one or two people unlocked and both of those get taken, because you have to then play as a recruit, so you only have like the bog standard stuff that you start out with, which is a bit of a shame. But if you do have a lot of classes unlocked, it doesn't matter anyway. The way that it works is that you will want to communicate with your team as to what the approach is going to be for the match. If you're attacking, you want to know who's going to be breaching, who's going to be breaking through the walls, so you know who's going to be at the front line and who's going to be running behind, and stuff like that. It's a very tactical game. You do have to work with people. It's not so much an easy game to play when you're playing alone, I found, but it is really fun. The footage you're about to see now is from a different game mode, which is called Terrorist Hunt. There's 3 different versions of this that you can play. There's normal, hard, and realistic. This is on the realistic. I thought that I would put a comparison for you guys. So there's a clip of me playing on the realistic level, and then there's also another clip after this on normal, just so you can get a perspective of how difficult it is compared. This is the realistic mode, which is harder. Enemies spawn in greater numbers. There's 30 enemies to defeat in this map, as opposed to the usual, which is 22. You don't have auto aim on here, so you can't enable it at all. Like, you literally just have to aim up yourself. And also, their enemies have better precision. They're a lot more accurate than the other enemies. So it does make walking into a room really tense. Like, you have to be super certain you're not going to get shot down. Like, you have to watch every single corner. Enemies are really approachable as well. Like, I found that they came up to you a lot more than they do on the other ones. Like, you can walk up to the enemies on normal mode and they won't really react to you for a little while, and it's like, really? I'm standing right here. Whereas on here, they run up to you and it's like, damn, I've got to run now because I'm being chased. So it does feel really good. If you do like stealthing and stuff like that, I'd say challenge yourself and go to play on realistic or hard, because you do have to be a lot more tactical when you approach the enemies as opposed to just run and gun in. I feel like you can run and gun and probably even solo doing it on the normal mode, because it's really not that hard to kill the enemies. I think I took out nearly the whole team in this in the next piece of footage, so you know, it is a lot more easy to deal with. Another thing that's to point out is the fact that there's greater numbers for the bombers as well, which is something you need to look out for, because the bombers are really lethal. They just run straight at you, and there's nothing you can do apart from just gun them straight down. If they don't, they'll detonate their bomb right in front of you and you'll be down. I'm about to get murdered by a bomber. I heard him and I was like, shit, I'm going to get higher grounds. I didn't know he had a gun on him as well. I thought he was just going to run and like grenade himself on me, so I thought, oh, I might get away with it, but nope. But yeah, as I was going to say, the bombers come in greater numbers. They're spawned in random areas as well, whereas on the normal mode, they kind of just come straight at you at the beginning of the match when you breach open some entry point. So watch out for that if you do plan on doing it on realistic. Anyway, moving on to the bad points about this, because as fun as this game is satisfying as it is to get kills, and as good as the game mode is for tactical attacks and stuff like that, there's kind of a few problems with it that I'm hoping will be sorted by beta. And well, the game comes out on the 10th, I think it is, so they've not got long to patch up all these things. The lobbies are terrible. Like, I cannot tell you how long it takes to get into a match. I think I spent over half hour jumping in and out of lobbies trying to get one to connect. Even when you do get into a lobby and it goes into pre-game thing where you get to select your operator, and you get to select your spawn location, people still drop out in the middle of the thing, like the loadout, and I don't think it's people just leaving the match. I think it's genuinely just people disconnecting. It keeps happening to me. I get like a random error code come up and then I disconnect, and I'm like taken back to the home screen. It's really frustrating, especially when you are trying to capture footage for it. You're like in the middle of a match as well, and it just doesn't work. I find that when you spawn in at the beginning of a match as well, it lags you, mainly when you are attacking, I find. I don't know if that's just a coincidence, but every single time I attack, I feel like when I spawn in, I'm lagging. Like, I'll run forward and then I'll be jolted back again. It clears up after a minute or two, but it kind of has that weird start up, which is a bit frustrating. And what else? I think there's also some problems with like delays as well. Like, it's like an unnoticeable lag as well. Like, there's another level of lag as opposed to the visual like stuttering at the beginning. Like, you on your screen, the guy's literally just walked through the door, and on his screen you've been in front of his eyesight for ages, like just staring at him. So I don't really know what that's about. Hopefully that won't be so irritating when it comes to the game actually being released. And a couple of other things that kind of bothered me about the beta so far is how easy it is to team kill. That's probably not going to change when they bring the game out. It's probably still going to be the same damage per bullet that you shoot with your enemies, or I mean your team. but it is just something that's a little bit frustrating because there's been multiple times I've turned a corner and I didn't realise that they're glowing, because it's kind of, you can't always tell that they're, see, like, you can only see the glow when they're not in the same room as you, when they're next to you or like crouched down, and if there's something in the way of that logo, you can't tell if it's your team or not, really. So you can easily accidentally kill your own team, which is a little bit annoying. And also, grenades do a lot of damage as well. You can pretty much down your whole team. So be prepared for noobs joining your lobby when you've waited 20 minutes to get into a match and instantly kill you at the start. That is another thing that's quite annoying when you do start a match for the first time in ages and you're like, yes, let's do this, and then you die straight away because you just get bad luck and you're the first one to die. But yeah, that's kind of a little thing that's irritating as well. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that really bothers me about this game. It is good when it works. When it works, it's great, in fact. Not just good, it is great. It's going to be tons of fun when it comes out. It's going to be a really good game to play with your friends. So if you've wanted a new game to play other than Call of Duty with your clanmates or whatever, definitely pick this one up because it is going to be a good game to play with other people. But anyway, I'll be back soon. Until then, bye!